What was this tape? When was it shot? What is it?
It was shot in 2005. It was the end of Access Hollywood was rebuilding a studio, so we had to find a reason to get out of the studio. So we did Access Across America. It started in Miami, and it goes to whatever to Atlanta, and then it works its way back to Los Angeles, giving the studio people the workers enough time to finish a new studio. So it's just it was sponsored and the whole thing. But the last stop
How long was it?
Pick up Donald Trump at the Beverly Hills Hotel in Los Angeles and drive him 20 minutes to the studio, deliver him because he's going to make an appearance on Days of Our Lives. And he's going to be playing a big, gaudy billionaire who gets hit on by, a young starlet. That's his character.
Oh.
I figure Donald should be able to pull this off. So the bus is pulling in and the cameraman, get off the bus. We got to go down to the end so we can catch your arrival. So the cameramen get off and they run 300 yards ahead while the bus is stopped, waiting to, to film its approach. Because the woman who he's going to be acting with is waiting, and there's a welcoming crew from Days of Our Lives. They're all waiting, and this is the arrival shot. So the cameraman gets off. He never stops recording. So we're still sitting on the bus with the microphones, and he gets off.
Stopped recording.
But the red light is still on, so the audio is still recording as the cameraman runs away. Can't imagine worse luck, right? But who cares? It's just Donald Trump from The Apprentice.
And you're just doing this silly little thing.
This is 2005, and we're doing this silly arrival shot. Well, the Donald at that point, while we're waiting, he gets into what he likes to talk about. And and you don't choose the agenda with Donald Trump. He talks at you, and he started by talking about my co-host Nancy O'Dell, and he, she's so hot. What happened at that? I handle that beautifully. And he keeps going.
I'm sorry. I'm just too amused.
He just starts talking and talking and talking. And everybody knows what he talked about. And then when we arrive to the shot, except for the end part, the most amazing thing about the whole famous line that starts with grab.
Yeah.
I just can't even say it because it's never funny to me. But the amazing part about all that is I have no recollection. The first time I ever heard that was 2016.
Of course.
Days before they fired me, because I always remembered it for the personal connection. Him talking about taking Nancy O'Dell furniture shopping. And I thought, oh my God, that is so funny.
Wait, what?
Like he took Nancy O'Dell furniture shopping because he was trying to hook up with her. And he's like, here, I'll buy you this coffee table. I'll buy you an armoire. I was like, this is so absurd. It's so, oh my God.
Do you think it was true?
But here's the amazing thing. Oh yeah, definitely true. I got 100%. I got off the bus. And, so the cameras are there. We returned to filming. And I'm like, hey, Donald, meet the person you're acting with. And the whole thing lines up and looks like I'm feeding a wolf to this, feeding this lovely damsel to this wolf after what has just been said. But no one knows what's just been said. And I don't even recall hearing the thing.
Of course.
I didn't hear that till 11 years later. So it's just a giant shit show.
Well, but also you work in LA in the middle of Hollywood. Like you hear a lot of stuff every day. I mean,
Julia Roberts has said worse to me. Not really, but
right. I know the world, and you were at the center of the world. So every day people are saying things they wouldn't want to be on camera.
Right.
Yeah.
But you also have this, we worked in this incredibly weird world where you have 10, 15 minutes, in my case, forever, because it was a drive across town, to really talk to someone before you talk to someone.
Yes, of course.
You and I chit-chatted for 15 minutes before we turned these microphones on. Just like, hey, you doing? What's going on? How was the drive?
Yeah, no, but...
Yeah, but I've known you for a long time. But if you didn't know me, you would have that time.
Always.
To establish a little rapport.
Always. And
you meet them where they are.
Yeah.
So, and with him, you don't have a choice. It's never, how's the wife and kids? There's never that. There's, you know what I did the other day? Great shot over the bunker. You can only hope it's a golf day. But then listen, here's the amazing thing is after that happened, like if you want to look at like, I reported it. I didn't report it like, he said terrible things on the bus. This is awful. I reported it ran upstairs to my boss and I go, oh my God, every time with Trump, it's something else. The animal, you wouldn't believe what he did. He tried to take Nancy O'Dell furniture shopping and so he could get laid. I was like, this is crazy. And I'm telling you, yeah, you're not going to believe this. The next day, that boss says, oh no, I heard the whole thing. What you told me yesterday. The guy was rolling. I said, he rolled on the tape? I said, well, you better do something with that tape. And the reason I said that was for nothing that I did, nothing that I was ashamed of. I don't care. The reason was in 2005, Donald Trump was the biggest star on NBC, on NBC, making $100 million in profit a year for the network. Had that tape leaked out in 2005 when it happened, heads would have rolled, including mine, because you just completely tarnished our major cash cow.
Do you ever feel like you can't trust the things you hear or read? Like every news source is hollow, distorted, or clearly just propaganda lying to you? Well, you're not imagining it. If the last few years have proven anything, it's that legacy media exists to distort the truth and to control you, to gatekeep information from the public instead of letting you know what's actually going on. They don't want you to know. But there is, however, a publication that fights this, that is not propaganda, one that we read every month and have for many years. It's called Imprimis. It's from Hillsdale College in Michigan. Imprimis is a free speech digest that features some of the best minds in the country addressing the questions that actually matter, the ones that are not addressed in the Washington Post or on NBC News. The best part of it, it is free, no cost whatsoever, no strings attached. They just send it to you. Hillsdale will send Imprimis right to your house, no charge. All you got to do is ask. Go to tuckerforhillsdale.com and subscribe for free today. That's tuckerforhillsdale.com. The only way this stays a democracy is if the citizenry is informed. You can't fight tyranny if you don't know what's going on. Imprimis helps. It's free. Don't wait. Sign up now. But can I just ask, I mean, I've been around, microphones and cameras my whole life. And my understanding to this day is you don't tape people without their knowledge.
In the state of California, this is what's amazing. So in 11 years later, NBC News themselves leaks that tape to the Washington Post. Of that, there is no doubt. They never launched an internal investigation. You have a proprietary piece of property that could affect a presidential election, and it gets out of your building to someone else. You don't launch an investigation as to how that got out. Like you've got to find out how that got out. Well, it would have ended in 5 seconds, and it got shoved off to the Washington Post.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is it's unfair to tape people when they don't know they're being taped.
It's also illegal. In the state of California, if both people don't know, it's litigious. That's why they gave it to the Washington Post. You got the biggest story of the October surprise of all surprises. You've got it in your hands and you leak it to someone else? Why? You're a giant news division. This is so many clicks for you. This is so much traffic. Why wouldn't you own that? Well, you can't, because Donald is litigious, first of all. And second of all, there's enough reason to believe there's no camera on the bus that he didn't know he's being recorded.
But it's also wrong. You shouldn't do that. I mean, why is it different putting a camera in somebody's bedroom or the bathroom? Like,
it's wrong.
What? It is wrong.
So that's what I fought all week long before I got fired.
But let's get it's actually a more interesting story than I realized. So this happens 2005 now, almost 20 years ago. You tell your boss he's seen the tape. He has seen the bus portion of the tape when you talk to him.
He heard it that one day and told me. I never heard it. He just said, oh yeah, the audio was on. He told me, I heard the Nancy stuff. He never mentioned anything about the word grab. Never came up.
Who was your boss?
Rob Silverstein.
Yes. Yes.
But here's the crazy thing.
Executive producer of the show.
Executive producer of Access Hollywood. But we'll get to how he's become the executive producer of my new show once again, how that's come full circle.
What?
Forgiveness, Tucker. It's an amazingly powerful thing.
You ought to try it.
You ought to try it. He's working for me. Don't think I didn't kick his teeth in. Don't think we didn't fall out for 2 years. Don't think I didn't take back the Rolex I gave him as a gift when I moved from the Pee-wees to the big leagues. When I got my big job at the Today Show, I had a party and I said, "Here you go, baby. I'm giving you a Rolex. Thanks for helping me get there." 2 months later, I said, "You son of a bitch, if I ever see you, I'm going to kill you and I'm going to give me that Rolex back."
And now he's your producer again.
Now he's my producer again because you know what? Sometimes I don't blame him because he was he asked for permission. When he sent the tape to NBC News, he was asking for permission to use it.
Wait, so, okay, let's just back up here because I know the story, but others don't. So you, and Rob Silverstein was your friend too, not just your EP.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
spent the night together sharing a bed during the blackout in New York in like 2012 or whatever it was.
Wow.
Because we had nowhere to, sweating next to this guy.
So, that's the last you hear of this tape for 11 years until you get off the air, if I'm following this correctly. And Matt Lauer comes up to you and you're not thinking about the tape. No one ever mentioned the tape again. The tape is just like
the day before that Monday, Rob Silverstein called me in New York and he just said, "Hey, NBC's asking. Remember the tape with Trump and the whole thing? They may want to look at they're asking for a transcript. I may send it to him because Trump said some crazy things. You don't worry about you. You don't do anything on it. You don't even say a thing." I say, "Okay, whatever. It doesn't mean anything." Then the next day, he says, "I'll call you if anything happens." Well, I never got a call from him. The next thing I hear about it is it's in Lack's hands. Andy Lack, the chairman of NBC News, has it, and Kim, whatever her name is, the legal counsel, the lawyer, she's on it. And Lauer says, you should probably go see Andy Lack, before this thing, they have it. And I was like, oh my God, okay. So I left the studio, went across up to Andy Lack's office, and Noah was there. And I said, "Hey, Noah, what's going on?" And he said, "Yeah, so we got this tape." I said, "Listen, I don't know what tape. I know about the tape. But I've never heard it. So he played it for me. And I will never forget sitting in Noah Oppenheim's office, the president, the general manager of the Today Show, as he played the part. And when it got to the grab line, Noah laughed. He was in the room. He laughed. Oh, and I guess I got fired for laughing, but there he is laughing because when you hear something that absurd, what do? You laugh. Mostly laugh. It's like a nervous laugh. I've never heard anyone say what he said. I was like, this can't be real, obviously, so I'm going to laugh. But I don't recall it. So it's just the first time I ever heard it was that day. And I went, oh, dear. And then I watched the tape and I saw the arrival and the greeting. And I said, oh, my God, the optics of this are just horrible. I'm the first to admit this looks terrible. And what happened in the ensuing days was, hey, what do you want to do about this, Billy? And I said,
what do you want to do?
I said, what do I? That's crazy. Yeah. This is from Andy Lack, the chairman of NBC News, who was the only person in the world I'd hit with a tire iron if he was sitting right here.
Yeah.
And Noah, I wouldn't. I've forgiven Noah. Andy, tire iron. Truth. But in the ensuing days, it was all, what do you want to do? We could do something with this. These things, and remember this quote, these things have a way of getting out. That's what Noah said to me. And I'm like, no, they don't. You can't. Listen, what if I become the guy whose preamble before interviews gets used, that whoever that public figure is never going to talk to me. I'm going to be the guy that no one wants to talk to because don't talk to Billy Bush before the interview. The cameras are rolling because he's probably secretly rolling. It's journalism 101. And no one came to my defense on it, of course, because it was such a hot time. Everybody was just, their heads were in the sand. But that whole week was, what do you want to do? And I said, you can't use this. It's illegal to do that to him, to anyone. I wasn't defending Trump. I'm defending my reputation as a journalist and someone who wants to interview other people in the future.
And just basic fairness.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. We hope you'll subscribe to it. And by the way, you can hit the little bell on there and get notifications every time we produce a video. We hope you'll do that also.